What's going on? It's Big Papa Blunt. Just to give you guys a friendly reminder that this episode is brought to you by Death Row Apparel, and you can shop their fine clothing at deathrowapparel.com. And if I said that wrong, it's going to be somewhere around here.
Hey, hey, Wolfpack. Hey, hey, Wolfpack. Hey, hey, Wolfpack. Hey, hey, Wolfpack.
Try and build an island. Tell me why you think we wildin'.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your host with the most, the best from the Midwest, the overweight lover. Ladies want him. Men want to be him. Your not so local supervillain, your global icon and national treasure, Starks, aka Big Sexy, aka Hollywood Starks Hogan, aka Big Chowder, aka the dark-skinned Dynamo, aka the Messiah of Maniacal Menagerie, aka Starsky Hutchinson, aka Big Papa Blunt, aka Go Grab the Bill, aka God Body, aka Chase Money, aka Did the PayPal clear yet, baby, aka Wave Cap Warrior, and I welcome you to another edition of the Fake Wolfpack podcast. Yes, and that is the number one, you heard me correct, number one more time for the people in the back, the number one wrestling podcast. Yeah. So it's been a while since we've had an episode, and the wrestling world has changed like everything around us. That's life. It's going to forever change. It's going to always adapt. It's always going to do something crazy and something more and more into it. And I like that. I know the world is so distraught about the changes in WWE, but they have to shake things up. They have to do some experimentations, and they have to go through the valleys to appreciate the peaks. You know what I mean? So this might be a low point for certain people. This might be a high point for certain people. But nonetheless, there's still wrestling to be had. There's still good wrestling to be had. And despite what people think and what everybody says, and I am a big critique, a big hater of a 3-hour show and I get maybe 30 minutes of wrestling. I hate that. So even within that, there's still going to be some good matches here and there. So some predictions, some suggestions that I think should happen across the board. Number one across on my mind that's popping up here is the Lucha House Party should turn heel. I don't know if anybody got to see what they did with Lars Sullivan at, what was it, WrestleMania, whatever, WrestleMania 2.5 this year or whatever. So with that going on, I felt like they should have turned heel. They should have just spazzed and snapped on old boy and really gave him the business, really gave him that work, just really took it to him in the forefront. But regardless of that, I think that's what should happen. I didn't get to see their match against the Singh brothers, I believe, on 205 Live, but who knows? I might make it for next week. So hopefully we actually do get some heel work from them. I think that'd be something cool and hope to find them. I don't think they've had a tag team championship run as the Lucha House Party as long as they've been a thing. I like that the tag team division of WWE is starting to thicken up, and I wonder how they got that inspiration. I just would love to know. I don't know if there's a certain podcast that talked about them taking their tag team division seriously. I don't know. We'll say a couple of months earlier. I don't know. I don't know if there is a place that did that. Hopefully there is. Maybe one day somebody would come along and give them a great suggestion like that, and they'll take note of it and do so. Another thing that I've noticed that some of my personal suggestions, start doing more tournaments to make your division look more serious. And what do you see spreading on the internet just this week? another random NXT tournament for talent that you have not seen on television yet. Wow. Once again, where did they get that idea? Man. I couldn't think of a place that does and says something cool like that. Regardless of the fact, I'm happy that they're doing that. I'm happy that they're taking that leap, and I think that's going to be something great for NXT, for just WWE in general, and I think more of that needs to happen on the main card as well. Another prediction that I have is Ricochet is going to defeat Samoa Joe at Stomping Grounds, and I kind of feel like another belt is going to change there as well. If not there, then the next following Monday and Tuesday. So those tag belts are probably going to get dropped from, who is it? The Daniel Bryan and Rowan. I wish they had a tag team name. So let's call them, I don't know, it doesn't matter because they're just blah. So regardless, hopefully Heavy Machinery comes through and picks up a big win on them. It would be tight to see Heavy Machinery pick up some gold, although they did not pick up any gold in NXT. They've had a really good run. They had some really good, solid matches. I feel like, to me, they have more potential to break out and do more and be mad creative and say and do wild shit and just put on really good, entertaining matches than the other half of both of those divisions. So like the Usos and the New Day and Sheamus and Cesaro, whenever Sheamus comes back, those are the most entertaining tag teams to me right now, right? And I know it's like kind of cliche to say just all the big dogs or whatever, and I'll throw in the Revival as well, but they don't get too much TV time, and even with this recent heel run with Shane McMahon, they still don't really get too much TV time. Well, too much match time as it is, or just really defining their division. That's a whole other thing. Regardless of the fact, so you got a pretty sack side over there. These are entertaining dudes. They can put on a good match. They can tell a good story. They can entertain outside of the ring and, inside of the ring. So regardless of it, I really hope to see that title change with the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Hopefully they change over to the Heavy Machinery during that Stomping Grounds pay-per-view. I believe it's coming up fairly soon. I don't want to drop any dates because time is such a constraint. Another suggestion, and I've been giving away some hot tips and suggestions. I think that the Bayley, Nikki Cross, and Alexa Bliss feud is hot. Not like, ooh, this is sexy hot, but I think it's a good hot storyline. And I think they have the potential to flip it and turn it bigger, as in they should do a double cross. Yeah, right. I know. That's so out of place, right? A double cross in wrestling? How and why? So I think Nikki Cross should double cross. Got me there? Double cross Alexa Bliss and Bayley and pick up this title, right? And then just go back to Crazy Nikki and do more of the character development for her. The more talking and making her seem more stable outside of the ring than when she gets in the ring, she's just going crazy and she's got all that energy still. They need to either keep both sides of the coin or just like now it's this overall super work. And with that potential, I think that has a really good set and tone for changing and doing things up. I know that in October they got a big deal coming with Fox, and they're going to be on Fox, and they're going to try to have all their faces and all the big names over there and everything. But I think this shakeup right now can add to the why I should watch effect that WWE is looking for. With everything pushing towards that in the women's division, you really fall sight to the bad storyline that Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch have. And when you see that and how everything is like building up to it, it's just like, yo, man, they're really beating this dead horse. There's got to be more people in both these divisions to make something happen. But Once Stomping Ground is over with, and I kind of feel like that's going to be the same ordeal with the Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston storyline. They're going to move on to something else. So I feel like with all of that transpiring, all of that pushing happening, your shining stars in the women's division is the Iconics. I know some people are like, damn, that's a real hot take. But honestly, that's like the most entertaining thing that is in the women's division for WWE. And the reason I say entertaining for WWE is because that's what it is. It's not wrestling. If I want to just get straight up like actual, minute to minute, bell to bell wrestling, I'm going to watch some indies. I'm going to watch New Japan. I'm going to watch Ring of Honor. I'm going to watch Impact. I'm going to watch PWG. I'm going to watch Wrestling Circus. I'm going to watch all these different promotions. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do all these things so I can see that really good smash mouth shit. But if I'm going to watch something with some entertainment value that's PG friendly and I can show this to other people and translate what's happening to a receptive level, then WWE is it. And that's just the reality of it. Regardless of that, with everything going on, the Iconics go out and put forth entertaining matches, even though they're squash matches and shit like that. But I think to develop them more, they need to keep doing what they did earlier this week and doing roll-up pin. And I hate roll-up finishes, but doing roll-up finishes, sneaking by, and just squeaking past people and just really stealing wins. That needs to happen, and I think that will bring more focus to the division and make it more, iconic. With all of that, we can all talk everything WWE, and we talk about their tag team division, the women's tag team division, but Impact Wrestling has one of the most underrated tag team divisions. The Rascals, the OVE, you got LAX, you got the North. Hell, man, they even got Sabu and Rob Van Dam still out there running up in the tag team division and everything. Like, with all of that being said, man, it's just a really, really stacked division. I'm glad to see tag team wrestling at the forefront. I'm glad to see wrestling at its forefront. This is the last prediction and suggestion. I feel that within Impact Wrestling, LAX is going to drop the belts to the Rascals at Slammiversary. I don't think Big Mike is going to beat friggin' Brian Cage at Slammiversary. I know I'm just all over the place, but get used to it, baby. I don't think that's going to be the last match for either one of those setups. I don't think that's going to be the last Big Mike versus Brian Cage and the last Rascals versus LAX, but I think they're going to be both of those in competition for match of the year. The big upset is, I won't say upset, but like justified win, you know what I mean? The Rascals are going to go put on an amazing show. I'm really excited to see them perform against LAX and really get their match out with all of that. But my prediction is LAX is going to drop those belts to the Rascals at Slammiversary, I believe on July something, early July. So yeah, hopefully we'll see where the villain sits with some predictions and suggestions. Let's see if some of these promotions use more of my ideas. And once again, if any of these promotions are really looking to hire the big dog, you want to bring in the dark-skinned Dynamo, you want to bring in the Messiah of Maniacal Menagerie, then, dude, just hit me up, man. We can work. Money talks. So let's get into our top 5 matches of this episode. So let's start off with number 5, and I got Colt Cabana versus James Storm for the NWA, I believe, National Championship. I know it's not their heavyweight title. I don't want to mess up all that prestigiousness. Nonetheless, really great match. I would say this is one of the first full matches of both those guys that I've watched. Regardless of the fact, really good showing. James Storm, man, the cowboy, I really liked his style. Colt Cabana, I could see why people like and love him, why he was such a phenomenon in awe, why they had that big draw, and really, really good match. Took it to the limits when the match started, and I believe they said it was like a 15-minute time limit or something. It was something crazy. It was something like a 10-minute time limit or something like that at the beginning of the match. So they go to the time limit and push it, and they're interrupted by the Briscoes or whatever like that. Nonetheless, creating all this in-depth, long, drawn-out storyline between NWA and Ring of Honor, which is pretty dope. A really good setup and move into it. Really dope. I like that. I like what they did. They defining, I believe that was Colt Cabana's first defense as the NWA national champion. He got that title from Willie Mack. So to see this go off and happen, and he really sticks up for the NWA, I'm just happy. I'm pleased with this. I love to see wrestling and storylines move in a parallel manner. It's beautiful. And NWA, Colt Cabana, James Storm, the Briscoes, Ring of Honor, you're on point. Great job. So, my number 4 match of the week, I got the Undisputed Era versus Oney Larkin and Danny Burch. I really hope that one day soon, Oney Larkin and Danny Burch get an actual tag team name. And I honestly feel like it needs to be the 1-2 punch, because they come down to the ring throwing up the 1-2, or the old 1-2 would be acceptable. So from now on, I'm pretty sure I've said this a few times already. We're going to refer to Oney Larkin and Danny Burch as the old 1-2 or the 1-2 punch. So, as always, the 1-2 punch and Undisputed Era put on amazing matches. To be said, give all these guys their flowers. Please fight forever. If you can, go watch it and check out some of those highlights on the WWE's YouTube and whatnot if you're not subscribed to the network. And I believe the same thing is with the LEX and Rascals match. You can go check out the highlights on Impact's YouTube as well. All of these matches that I've talked about, damn, I just fucked that up. Colt Cabana and James Storm. You can catch the highlights from that match on, I believe, NWA's YouTube. Sorry. Regardless, really good match, really good setup. It's very hard to see the Undisputed Era after that tough loss in that ladder match, which was a hell of a match, and kudos to the Street Profits for pulling off this victory. Everything going into it, really dope match, awesome setup. I just like the chemistry that they have. I wish that there was some titles involved, but there doesn't need to be for them to have that feud, and just really awesome match. This is not the first, I would say, like, stellar match that I've seen them put on. So if you can, man, go check out some Undisputed Era. This time it was Roddy Strong and Kyle O'Reilly versus the old 1-2 punch, and Roddy Strong and Kyle O'Reilly really have a good chemistry and mix. I wish the best and the most for Roddy Strong, man. I wish they'd do something with him, or just have him push for a title, or just do something. Like, he's just a really, really good, solid wrestler. And Roddy can go, man. That boy got a motor on him, man. He just all fucking day long, man. Just from bell to bell, just really giving it to him. So, and I wish that, I know it's only but so much time and so much booking that they can do and everything, but I wish there was just more for Roddy to do. Regardless of the fact, the old 1-2 versus Undisputed Era, awesome match. Pulling in number 4. At number 3, you already heard me talk about it, but we'll go to LAX and LAX versus the Rascals. At first, I was thinking this was going to be my number 1 pick, but even with building up and alluding to their following match for Slammiversary, it's going to be amazing. These are some of the two top tag teams in the world to me. Desmond Xavier is awesome. Trey Wentz, and I keep forgetting the last gentleman's name. I believe it's Miguel. I want to say. I'm mixing them up. Anywho, the Rascals are dope. LAX is dope. I'm gonna take another cut from this one. So, number 3 is going to be LAX versus the Rascals. And when I say this has the potential of becoming one of the best rivalries that Impact Wrestling could put on for like just, I think they've got a really good, this could be their Usos versus the New Day. If they just, they keep booking it right and keep doing it. And this is an amazing turnout, man. Like, I love it. I love the camaraderie. I love the moves. Everybody's going a mile a minute. I'm sure you can go and find those highlights. They did a awesome job with the finish. So they have to, you got to draw it out. They got to build up to that big pay-per-view. So yeah, and most definitely they did that as well. And they've been building up to Slammiversary. And I honestly am very excited to see what happens and what transpires from LAX and the Rascals. And as you heard from earlier, I did make the prediction and suggestion that LAX drops the titles to the Rascals at Slammiversary. So the number two match of the week for me, I'm gonna go another tag team match. Very surprising. Fallah Bahh and Scarlett Bordeaux versus OVE. Yeah, craziness, pure craziness, huh? I love this hodgepodge team. I love the super pull of the yin and the yang. Scarlett Bordeaux, no fear, balls to the wall. I love it. Yo, she really, really did her thing. It's just really good wrestling. And Fallah, man, he was in there for a long time, yo. He was really working, getting active with the moves and the good move set and everything. That's a big dude. And he's slimming down. From one big guy to another, I always go look and no homo. I'm always looking and seeing. I'm like, yo, man, is this big guy keeping himself healthy? How is he doing it? What is he doing? Is he slimming down? You know what I mean? Does he work? And yo, Fallah, man, keep going, dude. You got it, man. It's good to see you staying healthy and staying active. OVE, some of my favorite tag team work. Dave Chris, Jake Chris, Sami Callihan really putting it in. They got Madman Fulton now, which is a good fit and everything. Dave Chris, I believe Jake is the one with the awesome cutter. But yeah, the Chris brothers, man, they do an awesome job. They really work nicely together. I really love the finish of this match. They knocked out Fallah Bahh with a roll of quarters. Awesome. Like, that is some dirty ass Ohio backwater nasty river, you know what I'm saying? Some scumbag shit right there. And I liked it. And it was a really good move. Really good finish to the match. It's going to be the number 2 pick for the week. And the number one match of the week is going to go to Darby Allin versus Jeff Cobb. Yo, first off, that's such a what in the fuck match. How is this going to happen? How is this going on? And you automatically think, if you know these two dudes, Jeff Cobb is just going to fucking murder Darby, right? You would think. And how it's set up, so they just go to the limits. Real good match, real good push. Jeff Cobb, when I say, man, is just a freak of nature. He is just a big, strong boy. And I love what they're doing with him in Ring of Honor. I really want to see what's going on. They're really building him up, really prestigious and really high. Just really dope push. And getting familiar with Darby Allin, I watched a Viceland documentary called The Wrestler, and I believe the first episode, they focused on Evolve and Darby Allin and just, everything going on there. After watching that, got really into the wrestler, got really into him as a person, and just his matches and everything going into it. Great. This was a great match, and I don't want to give away the finish, and I just really want you to just go out and check it out. You can find this on YouTube. Should be some links and some stuff below. But you should be able to type in all these names and stuff like that and go watch them for yourself. And I suggest that you do that. There's a reason why Darby Allin versus Jeff Cobb is the #1 choice. So, that is our weekly top 5 matches right there. If you got any suggestions, if you got any matches I should check out, leave them in the comments below. Yeah. So let's go and kick off this new segment, the top wrestler. This week's top wrestler is brought to you by Death Row Clothing. Check them out right here. So this week's top wrestler is none other than Toxic Trent. Yes. I'm going to leave all his information, all this goodies and stuff below. We're going to play some of his matches and everything. Shouts out to Toxic Trent. I had the lovely pleasure of checking out one of his matches during a California Wrestling Association event. And I would like to say kudos to CWA. Really good job booking that show. And kudos to Toxic Trent and his opponent, Manny Mars, put on a phenomenal show. I had the pleasure of being able to see it live, and I found the show that match in particular on YouTube. So nonetheless, man, and when you get a chance, check out Toxic Trent. He is a combination wrestler. He has some nice strikes. He does some high flying moves, and he'll get in there and still do some nice grappling and everything like that. I was very impressed with Trent's moveset, and he's a very well thought out into the, I won't say character. It's more, when you look at people with the wrestlers and everything, it's an extension of themselves. So if you can make it something natural and something that you're used to and something a part of your already lifestyle, it works out the best. And you can really see with Toxic Trent and Manny Mars, and there's a few other people that from that show in particular that they really dialed in and found close to their niche what they're looking for. So it's really cool to have that experience and really get that close indie feel and vibe. And once again, shouts out to Toxic Trent. Amazing wrestler. Looking forward to catching some more of his shows. If you're in the Northern and Central California area, look out for Toxic Trent. And if you're not, man, if you're a booker, by all means, hit him up, man. It would be a great addition to any show. I think he has that presence. He can command it. He's a really, really, really good face. I know that with the right push, I can see this guy being a star within the next upcoming years. And no, Toxic Trent did not pay me for this promotion. And no, CWA did not pay me to do that. It's just showing the love. It's just really finding things that you like. That's what it's all about. It's not about what you can do for others, but more or less what you enjoy and what really pops and what stands out to you. That's why I enjoy wrestling. So that looks like it might be the conclusion of the Fake Wolfpack podcast and prediction show. No. We're just a podcast. We ain't got nothing going on. For the Fake Wolfpack podcast, the number one more time for the people in the back, the #1 wrestling podcast. And you don't got to check the numbers. I did all the hard work for you. My name is Starks. Go ahead and follow me in all these cool places and all that good business. Peace.